All right, we good? All right, let's do it. Let me
Yes, let's go.
and let's go. Hi.
Hi, Scotty. Nice seeing you after 1.5 years.
Yeah. Was it winter time? Well, you tell me. Hey, tell me all about the first time we met.
Well, I just looked it up because I was thinking, when was it? When was it? When was the date? And I'm flying to the US quite often. And then I'm thinking, what was the trip? But it was June 2024. It was really hot in Fargo. It was smoking hot. Um, and where we first met was in a wine bar, I think it is. But I don't know exactly. Yeah. So I had a free afternoon because I was doing an installation for my work at the NDSU, North Dakota State University. In the afternoon, I was free, and I said, "Okay, let's just hit town and see what's happening in Fargo. Never been there before." So I went there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was sitting there just drinking some good wines, I have to say. And I was just talking with some ladies behind the bar. And then I was sitting there, I was just on my phone, and then at some point you walked in. But then you walked in and you said, "Hey, where's the quiz?" So what was it again? It was
Trivia.
a trivia. Yeah, exactly. And then you walked upstairs, and I thought, "Oh, there's a trivia. Oh, okay, well, let's join in because I have some time to spare." Because the next day I was going to Lincoln, Nebraska. So I said, "Okay, let's go upstairs." So the first time I saw you was you were walking in, and you were already really chatty because you already said, "Oh, hey, hello, yeah, I'm just ordered some wine," and then you went upstairs. Um, and then I also walked upstairs, and I was sitting, going up to the stairs on the right, and you were sitting straight when you walk up to the stairs. And then we just sat there, and then I was texting my girlfriend, Tina, now my fiance, and I was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm sitting here, and yeah, I see a gay guy there, and I think they're going to do trivia or something. So, but I don't know if we have to make groups or that we can just join in and let's see." But then at some point, the guy came over that was organizing it. He said, "Okay, yeah, what's your team?" I said, "Team? I don't have a team." "Okay, yeah, can you maybe join a team?" Well, and I also know I have to join a team because, to be honest, trivia evenings in the US, no European can handle that because it's all like questions from the 2002 who was in this series and in that series. Okay, I have to join somebody. And then I walked up to you and I said, "Hey, can I join you? Are you here by yourself?" And you said, "No, I will be joined by two of my friends. But please join in." And that's the first time we met. And then I think let's say we met maybe at 6 or 7 p.m. and it lasted until 12.
Yeah, it turned into a long night. What's
Yeah,
funny, when you were texting your girlfriend, now fiance, congratulations. Um, I
thanks.
was texting Spencer and Tanner at the same time because when I walked in, I remember ordering at the bar, and yeah, I think you were behind me,
Hmm.
and I heard your accent, and yeah, it turned into a really fun night. Because then we showed you Fargo a little bit. We took you to Harold's. I think
Harold's,
we
yeah.
just went to Harold's. We just went to Harold's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is like our
But how
favorite.
did you know I was Dutch then? Because how can that's very specific.
Well, you look Dutch to me, but I
Ah,
have a friend from the Netherlands,
mhm.
and I just something about I could hear your accent. For some reason, your accent,
Yeah.
I could just tell. So, uh, yeah, and then we went to Harold's, and it happened to be because on Wednesdays is trivia at Walterra. You came at a good time too, because we've been playing trivia there for probably a year and a half or 2 years, the same kinda group, and every once in a while, like, a new person would come along. But, yeah, and then Harold does karaoke on Wednesdays. We had no idea that we were sitting with a prolific karaoke star, so that turned into an entertaining, evening, and then yeah, you kind of, like, had, like, a little mini concert at Harold's.
Yeah. That was fun. It was fun. I always try to sing when I'm also abroad at karaoke or something like that, or join in with the open mic evening or something like that. So that was
Yeah.
fun. But I also do have to say the trivia night was also really a lot of fun because it was really nice with you guys also because then instantly when you're for you guys with a foreigner and for me with the Americans, and then hey, how's your country doing this and how's your country doing that and how are you doing this? What, you have 5 weeks off? Oh my god, why do you have so many weeks off? That's always the fun thing also of traveling, that you meet other people but then also instantly you have something nice to talk about because we
Yeah.
look so similar and we are on the same globe but we're so different in any way, shape and form, especially a country, let's say, or how we see the world or what we're doing. So those nights are always fun for me because then I like to tell a lot of know how things of the Netherlands, and then you guys also had a lot of questions and also fun facts from the US. So that's yeah,
Yeah, I like
that
that
was
too.
fun.
I like kind of like learning like how yeah, how similar and how different. Because 'cause you're right, at the same we're kind of the same people. It's just yeah, they're like slightly different like lives. I'm noticing now that I'm saying like a lot. I'm gonna edit that out. What that was your first time in Fargo. What did you think of Fargo?
Yeah,
I know you were only here for like how long were you here? A couple days?
I think I was there for 3 or 4 days. Well, my trip to Fargo didn't start really well because I had a flight to Fargo. I don't know how I went there, but some layover somewhere. But then the first hotel I went to, I had a reservation. They said, nope, we didn't get your reservation. I said, fuck. I said, okay, my God, what do I have to do now then? And it was like 6 in the afternoon. So I was thinking, okay, well, let's see. Okay, then I got to a other motel kinds of a motel. And then I remember I told you guys and you said, ooh, are you there? I said, yeah, I'm there, but yeah, I'm just sleeping there, so that's fine. But it was the first time in Fargo, but I have to see, I tell you, I didn't see a lot. I only saw some of downtown. I drove in there and I went to the university there. That's quite nice. It's quite, yeah, big university. But, so no, that's the only 3 or 4 days I've spent in Fargo,
You
North
need to come
Dakota.
back and like have like a proper downtown Fargo experience. Go to the right restaurants.
Well, it is really nice because I was also in downtown. I think it was Fargo. You have a big square, right, with some seatings, and I had a beer there in the sun because it was a lovely day. And then on the edge of the square, there's supposed to be a good restaurant, I think, but I don't know if that's true.
Oh
But
yeah, Rosewild is right there.
could be, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
really good.
that's where I have sit down, but that's
It's
it.
funny to hear you, say that it was so hot there too, because I feel like most people would never think to use the word hot for Fargo or North Dakota, especially
Oh no, but that day was, I don't know what it was, but I think it was easy 85, 90
ugh,
degrees.
I miss that already. Although it's pretty warm here right now. We're recording it's what? It's February. It's like 40 degrees, I think, today.
To check what it is in Celsius because
Yeah, what is
40
Celsius?
Fahrenheit,
I used
40
to know how to do this math, and I forgot already.
yeah, divided by 2 times something, 40 Fahrenheit in Celsius, 4 degrees Celsius. Well, it's similar to us. Currently, it's with us, it's 35.
How cold does it get?
So the coldest we have, I think it's like 10 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe.
Okay.
The coldest, what? Yeah, minus 12. The other, a few weeks ago, we had minus 9 degrees Celsius. So let's say 15 Fahrenheit.
Okay, so we get
Uh,
so Fahrenheit, we get down to we had a week recently, I guess every winter, where it gets down to, like, -30 Fahrenheit.
oh, yeah, we never had that.
And everything, it's
No.
insane, and part of it's because it's so flat here that, like, the wind just whips around and
Yeah, if the
it's
wind's from the
like
north, you instantly have the polar breeze and then it freezes
yeah.
up. Yeah, we don't have that anymore. I know that in 1963 there was the winter of hell, they called it, because then it was really cold and we had a lot of dust, snow, and we could skate. We are ice skaters, so there was we could skate on the lakes and everything. That was, yeah, really cold.
Yeah,
But
it's weird here, it's, like, just warm enough now that people can't ice skate because it's all melting 'cause
yeah, yeah, that's the same with us. The last time we ice skated was, I think, 6 years ago. It was on a lake close to my house, or not a lake.
a pond.
Sometimes my English, a pond. Let's say a pond. Yeah, a pond close to my house where we ice skated. That was the last time, 6 years ago. But like when I was born, it was almost every year you could ice skate on a natural ice, at least.
Yeah, were you born wait, so, where and how close are you to Amsterdam?
Everything is close to Amsterdam, but I am 1 hour drive from Amsterdam. But also, I'm 10 minutes from Germany. So, so Amsterdam is in the west of our country, and I live pretty much in the east of our country. But it's only an hour drive to Amsterdam. That's the fun thing about living in Europe. It's a 5 hour drive to Paris, 9 hour drive to Berlin, 7 hour drive to Denmark, I think, Spain.
kind of like the States where, like, we can drive to the States. Like, it's 3 hours to Minneapolis, but you're right, that's like a different country over there. That
Yeah,
makes
and for us, it's a long drive. If we drive longer than an hour, that's already a really long drive for us.
yeah. I went to visit Stockholm or Sweden, I guess, well, Stockholm, in 2023. In that trip, we rented a car and we drove to Oslo, and it wasn't that far because we're so used to driving forever here. But it was just crazy and we didn't have to go through, like, a border crossing or anything. You just, like
Oh, you have free borders here in Europe. Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's
Um,
only when you're outside European Union then you have to show your passport, but that hardly happens, of course.
how often do you come to the States?
Previously, I was coming there, I think, 3 times a year. Um, but our company grew quite a bit. So I also have some other people working for me now. So my colleague is now coming back from Michigan. He's there. He's now flying back today. And this year, do I have to go to the US? Yeah, it might. It depends if one of my clients will buy stuff. But then I have to go to the US maybe two or three times. So in Minneapolis, Newark, yeah, Newark, close to Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's New Jersey. Yeah, it's a fun town, Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's always when my traveling. I don't have time. I always fly in, go out. Previously, I was staying longer. It depends if I have a weekend there. So when I was after I was in Fargo, I went to Lincoln. I had a weekend in Lincoln. Okay, then I stay there, and then I have some sightseeing. But yeah, oh Lincoln. Oh, it's a nice college, a university city. And it was cool. It was cool. I went to that's what I did that year also. I went tailgating the first time of my life. I was in Lincoln and I met a guy, Dylan. He was a private pilot, but there was a game. I want to say no Huskies. Are they
Huskers?
Huskers? Maybe.
Okay, because it's corn huskers,
Yeah,
right?
right. I don't know. Sorry, guys, if somebody's listening and I'm saying something rude. But it was Huskers against some other game, and the entire stadium was sold out. But the evening before, I met some people in my hotel, and they said, "Oh, we're going tailgating tomorrow." Well, I have no clue what tailgating means. So I said, "What is tailgating?" I was assuming, yeah, tailgating normally is that you're tailgating somebody. So I was thinking, "You're going tailgating? What are you gonna do?" And it was elderly people, like 70 plus. And then they said, "Oh, come visit us. We're at the stadium at that parking lot. We have an entire they rebuilt an old ambulance and they built an entire screen in there and a hi-fi system, and come visit us." That evening I met the guy Dylan, and then he said, "Okay, I have a spot, we can go tailgating." And that was the first time I went tailgating with 70-year-olds, but it was really fun. And then I also went to the game. So that was really, for me then, a hardcore American lifestyle. Huh? First go tailgating, go to the game, and then we went tailgating a little bit extra, and then we went to the hotel.
What's the, like, Dutch version of that? If I was gonna come to the Netherlands, what would be, like, your version?
Soccer games. Well, we don't really have tailgates because it's a really different culture. You guys are really car oriented, and we are oriented with bikes and with walking. So what we normally have here before a game, everybody goes to the different bars just surrounding the stadium, and then they have some drinks, go to the stadium, and pretty much go home. It's not as big as an event as with football. Because, yeah, I also always say that, yeah, the Americans can make everything really big and great. So even for example, university soccer team, yeah, they have a small stadium. They don't earn money. It's nothing. But in the US, every university even has 80,000 people living stadiums fit. That's the same as the soccer stadium from FC Barcelona. In my hat, it's insane. But also the quarterback, that guy was 19 or 20 years old. He made $1 million. So it's, yeah. But I think we have the same thing with when the national Dutch team is playing the World Cup, for example. Then the entire city is orange. Yeah? Our color is orange. So then the entire city is orange. Everybody is drinking beers in the city. There's everywhere in the city, there are big screens that you can watch outside. You can watch the games for free. But I think that's almost similar as in Lincoln. They under the car bridges, there was like an entire arena. You had to buy tickets to watch a university game. And that's what I do like about the US. They can make things so big, and well, it feels authentic. And for me, it's then also like this is like a party. It's like, oh my god! But if you have to do that every weekend, that's tough. Yeah, but yeah, but it's also the guy. One of the guys I met at Lincoln. He had a $2 million plane, and he was an old corn farmer, seed farmer, and he just flew in from maybe it was Omaha, a 2 hour flight or 3 hour flight, and he only flew in for the game, and then he flew back with his private jet, with his private plane. And I think, huh? It was, yeah, it's crazy, crazy.
I like here the soccer is like kind of becoming a big deal in the States now. I grew up in Atlanta, and they right before I left to move to LA, the Atlanta United soccer team had just gotten started, and it was crazy to see like how that just kind of took over the city, and now like everyone's big soccer fans down there now.
Hmm. But you know what the real name is, right? Of soccer.
Football.
Exactly. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually going tonight, when we're recording this, I'm going to a rave, and it's a Euro soccer, excuse me, football theme rave, so everyone's supposed to wear their, like is it
Jerseys.
a jersey? Yeah. What is a kit?
Yeah.
A kit is like the uniform, right? A soccer kit?
Kit?
Have you ever heard that? Kit? Am I making that up?
No, I've never heard about that.
Maybe I made that
Sorry,
up.
my coffee machine is switching off.
Yeah, how dare you? What kind of coffee are
It's
you drinking?
oh, it's just coffee beans, Colombian coffee beans, and then with a cappuccino.
Do you put, like, oat milk or anything in there, or what do you put?
Yeah, this is pumpkin spice, haver in Dutch. Haver in Dutch. Let me see. Oat. My girlfriend has oat.
It's not the time of the year for pumpkin spice.
No, but it's a special flavor, so it's perfect, right? It's cold. It's
Yeah,
nice.
feels really cozy, yeah.
Yeah.
You drink coffee every day?
Yeah, of course. We
Me too,
start with a coffee. We have a coffee. That's also something. Do you want to know something I don't like about the US?
yeah.
Every university I go to, they don't have a coffee machine for their employees. This is typically Dutch. Also, when you come into a meeting in the Netherlands, the first thing we will do is offer you a drink. But that's all universities and companies have a free coffee machine. So with
Oh,
us, we drink a lot of coffee, but then also good coffee, just like proper coffee.
I would have assumed that they would, like, in a break room or something, have coffee. I didn't know that
No,
about
most of the time in universities, even the professors themselves, they have their own dedicated coffee machine because
huh.
it's not given to the employees. I don't know.
I live above a coffee shop down in downtown Fargo called Youngblood, and, I have to it's so hard not to go there every day, but it gets expensive after a while.
Yeah. Well, if I go to Starbucks in the US, you easily pay $10, $9, $10 for a coffee. With us here, if I go to my local brewery, let's say a brewery, no, brewery is drinks. To my local coffee shop, then it's like $6, and then you have the largest drink you want.
Yeah, I get the nitro latte at Youngblood, and it's
Mm.
$8, and then a tip,
Wow, that's okay.
so yeah, you're looking at, like,
We
$10.
don't tip. We don't tip. So
I know, when I've gone to Europe, that's the thing, I always, like, forget that that's not part of culture there, but I also love
no.
it because it's just
They
like
try to make it a culture thing here. Now, even at ATM, here we pay with our debit card, so we have debit machines. When we pay, they already start asking, "Do you want to tip 10, 15, 20%?" But yeah, no. You make a good living? No. Sometimes we do it if it's excellent service, but then, like on a bill of $200, you maybe get $5.
I'm really bad at, like, I get nervous in those situations here, so I end up tipping like, I'll, like, go I don't know, say I'm at a football game and I just want a bottle of water. I'll go get my bottle of water, which they're not doing anything, they're just handing me a bottle, and I'll still hit the, like, I guess I'll give them 10%. So I'm just, like,
Yeah.
giving my money away for a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Ugh. We're so nice here in America, we just wanna, like, treat people well.
Yeah.
What is where's your favorite place to visit, when you come to the States? Or have you only been here for work, or have you ever come just for fun?
I've only been to the States for work. Closest I've been for fun was Canada, so in Alberta. But well, I've been a couple. Let me think. Well, I did like Lincoln a lot because I had some fun times there, and it was really fun to go there. That was fun. Oh, and no, Texas A&M. No, that was boring. Texas A&M is really boring. College Station. Well, and I'd liked what's it named again? Oregon?
Portland?
Portland, Oregon, before it was the drug addict capital of the US. I was there with lovely weather, and I went with somebody who lives there, and he knows the nice places. That was also really, really fun. And that was nice,
I like
quiet, nice.
I've
Yeah.
had really good food in Portland.
Yeah,
Uh,
me too. Yeah.
It's like a when I think of Portland, I don't think of, like, the food, but every time I've gone, I've enjoyed my
And I
food there.
have to say Lafayette, where Purdue University is. Yeah, that was really fun. I had also an amazing night with some students there. We went drinking and we went into the city. Oh, and you have a sketchy bar that's called Neon Cactus. If people from there know Neon Cactus, I went there at 1 a.m. That was horrible,
I should
but
write
it
this
was fun.
down and do, like, my own, like, Vincent tour of America.
And I do have to say Indianapolis is also quite fun, the city center.
I haven't been there since I was, like, a teenager. I should go back as, like, an adult. I used
Oh,
to
and St. Louis, and St. Louis. You've been to St. Louis a couple of times, right?
Yeah, I go there for work quite a bit, and whenever I drive home to Atlanta, I that's like a halfway point if I'm just gonna try to, like, just drive straight to Atlanta from Fargo. It's like 8.5, 9 hours from Fargo, so I'll drive down there, sleep, and then get up, and it's like another 8 hours to Atlanta. Uh, but yeah, St. Louis, I think St. Louis is fun. I think, again, another, like, good, like, food town that I think people, like, don't think of. Um, I did a thing whenever I was, like, became an adult where I had this goal of driving through all 50 states, and, so I started doing these, like, solo road trips, and that's actually when I came to Fargo the first time was I was driving from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon, and Fargo was just one of my places to sleep, and I was here for half a day and just kind of decided I liked how charming it was, and so whenever I decided to leave LA, I kind of picked
You lived
Fargo.
in LA?
Yeah. Have you ever
But
been there?
I'm no, I've been just Googling because you're mentioning Atlanta, but you drive to Atlanta from North Dakota?
Yeah, it's a long drive, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I've
you
only
also lived
ever
in LA.
and I lived in LA, yeah,
It's
which
amazing how the Americans are doing that. Why? You that's the same as packing up my stuff and moving to Poland or moving to Italy.
it's an
It's
adventure.
like, yeah, but why? Why?
I think for me, I've always been kind of a little bit of a nomad, and I think that I wanna have, like, adventures, but for me, it's one thing to kinda travel somewhere, which I think you kinda do this. It's one thing to travel somewhere and just see the touristy things or just have a meal and then move on. It's another to meet the people that live there and see what life is like there, and I mean, I've always loved LA, I love movies, and so I've always wanted to, like, be near Hollywood and everything, uh, and even that, like, going out there, it's easy to do all the tourist stuff, but whenever you live there or you know people that live there and you go to the places where, like, "Oh, where do the actual people go?" You know, that's a fun experience, and same with Fargo, I think. I think it's easy to come to Fargo. Most people don't really come to Fargo unless they have to, but I think once you meet people here and they take you to kinda where like, Harold's would not be a place that the average person would go to when they come to Fargo. But that's like our little watering hole. That's where everybody goes every
And why
weekend.
did you choose for Fargo though? Why did you land in Fargo?
I wanted to see well, I liked it whenever I came for the first time. I thought it was neat, and I'd never been to this part of the country before. And so whenever I was leaving LA, I kinda started making a list of places that I wanted to go see what life was like, seeing somewhere where I didn't know anybody and, like, see what life was like in a place that I wasn't familiar with. And, Fargo just kept checking all the boxes. It literally came down to Fargo or Albuquerque, New Mexico. And,
Oh,
I couldn't find an apartment in Albuquerque that checked my boxes of what I needed in an apartment. But Fargo, there was an apartment in downtown that had a washer and dryer in the apartment, and I was like, "Oh, there we go, I'm gonna do that." And I thought I would be here for, like, a year or 2, and now it's been, like, 7 years, so
but that's also a strange thing that because of a washing machine, you decided to go to North Dakota instead of New Mexico. That's like all the
yeah.
way across the country.
Which if you have a chance to go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, that's a crazy little art town. Yeah, I well, in LA, we didn't have a washer and dryer in our apartment there, so I would have to go to, like, a laundromat, and that I hated
Mm.
it, and, so I was like, "I next place I live has to have a washer and dryer in the apartment,"
I
and
do
that
also have to say now we're in New Mexico. I
yeah.
also been to Tucson. That was also really good.
I've never been to Tucson. I've only been
Yeah.
to Phoenix.
Oh, Tucson is also really nice. I went there to also to the desert museum. That was really cool. But it's also all the cities I liked in the US at the moment. It was during summer or spring.
Yeah. Yeah, you should come back to Fargo during a proper, like, winter time just to see what that's like. It's insane. Living downtown is great. I feel like I think I would thrive in a European city because I need actually, that was another thing. Fargo, even Albuquerque, I needed to live in a place in town where I could walk to things because I was even in LA, I lived in the part of LA I lived in once you, like, kinda parked your car, there was nowhere I didn't have anywhere to park at my apartment, so once you found a place for your car to park, you didn't wanna get back in your car and drive. So I had, like, a Trader Joe's that I could walk to, or we could walk to West Hollywood, like, eat dinner. I lived it was very walkable, which is weird because LA is such a driving, like, car city, and then same
Mhm.
with Fargo, like, you don't think in North Dakota that you would be able to walk anywhere, but where I live downtown, I can walk to everything, and that was important to me, but in the winter, it does suck because it is so cold that you still will walk to stuff, but the wind is just like your face is just like
Yeah,
freezing.
freezing up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just but that's why we all just go to the bars and drink because that's all there is to do.
Heat up, heat up
Yeah,
again.
exactly, yeah.
But what is your next city then? Do you already have plans to move out then? Because this is already 7 years. Sounds like a long time.
Well, I have had, like, moments where I kinda think, like, "Oh, I'm gonna pack up and go somewhere else," and I thought before about doing something crazy, it's not really that crazy, but, like, Des Moines or something. Find another, like, similar vibe to Fargo, but somewhere that's just different enough, but I don't know, my heart is also always in LA. I think I'll, at some point in my life, end up back in California in some way. For work, I've been going to San Francisco a little bit, and that's a pretty fun place, so I don't know. It's so expensive up there, though.
It's also fun when you're now telling me this. I'm just now thinking of my life. I was born um 20-minute drive from here. Furthest work I've worked is like 30-minute drive from here. Everything I've done is in a radius of maybe 30 kilometers, so like 20 miles. That's where I've lived, studied, worked for the last 35 years of my life, and that's quite typical.
I mean, here in Fargo, I feel like most of my friends here, they all either grew up in Fargo or they grew up near Fargo and then came to Fargo for college, and then they've been here. Like, I'm a little bit of a anomaly here, but I don't know. I think that's kinda what I think for me, I've always been trying to figure out what, like, home means to me. Even though I know, like, Atlanta is home because that's where I grew up, uh, I think I've always been searching for, like, a little bit of a different kind of, like, belonging in a way,
Mm,
and even here in Fargo, I feel very much like this is where I feel like, "Oh, this is where I'm just always, like, supposed to have been," and, I don't know, I think for some people, though, like, life is also, like, very comfortable, like, home for you is home, you know?
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. I cannot imagine living anywhere else, but
I think I do feel like people, if they can, if they feel like the drive, I think everyone should, experience life somewhere else if they can, even if it's just traveling,
mm.
find a job that makes you
Well, I
feel
think
proud.
that's a good point you're making because I started to get the world when I was starting traveling. So in the beginning, you think, oh yeah, we have the Netherlands and we have Europe, with those crazy Americans, those crazy Chinese, those okay, let's see. But when you start traveling, I went to China a bunch of time, to the US a bunch of time, across Europe, and then you notice how people really are, and that people are not the news, and that I do have to admit. And I'm also my girlfriend, fiance. She lived in Edinburgh in Scotland for 3 months, and that was also a huge experience for her. And that she developed herself, and then I think, oh yeah, that's quite impressive and good. Yeah.
It definitely changes how I travel, which I bet is the same for you, where it would be again, it would be easy to have come to Fargo and just stay in your hotel or go eat dinner somewhere, and then, like, that'd be it, but you seek out experiences wherever you go because 'cause you're there, you may as well, and I think now that I, like, have lived in different places or how I've approached kind of, like, what life is like in different places, even when I travel, I wanna do the touristy stuff too, but I also want to find, like, where's the restaurant, like, off the beaten path that, like, yeah, the locals go to. I don't wanna just
Mhm.
go to the Cheesecake Factory everywhere, you know?
No, but that's also what I'm trying to do when I'm in the US. Find those small places and see at the bar and talk to somebody and see what's happening there. How's normal life in the US? That's the fun thing because if you're in LA or San Francisco and you also have Americans that are tourists there, yeah, it's nothing fun about that, I think. Or it's
Yeah.
maybe fun for an evening, but you want to know how is life. Yeah.
Yeah, there's, like, a good balance there. Like, yeah, like, go see the sights, but then also go have a meal somewhere that you can't, have anywhere else in the world, you know? When I come to the Netherlands, where are the places you like to go? What are the bars you like to go to? What are the restaurants you like to go to?
Well, it's very specific. Look, it's very specific, of course, because yeah, in the Netherlands, yeah. To be honest, I never go to the really touristic stuff. So like Amsterdam. Yeah, I've been there once or twice, but it's too touristic, so you don't want to be there. Um, but well, yeah, I live in Arnhem, so that's pretty much in the center of the Netherlands, and it's in your eyes, it's a small city, so it's only 160,000 people. But we have also another city quite close by, Nijmegen, that's also like 180,000 people. And everything happens a little bit between those two cities, for us at least, because we have a lot of friends in Nijmegen, we have a lot of friends here in Arnhem. And what is it a bar life? Well, it's not. We're not going to a lot of bars, but we have in the city center we have the Korenmarkt. So that's it. The literal translation is grain market, because in the 1600 there they were trading grain. And that's how they got the grain market, and that's where the clubs are and the bars are. And lately we go a lot to a place called 55 Degrees, and that is more fine dining experiences. That's some things we like. Tomorrow also, when we go for dinner with friends of ours, we go into the Sansbeek Villa. That's a villa in a park, and there we have like a 5-course dinner in the middle of the park, close to our city, and that's really fun. But yeah, we do. Yeah, if you ask me what kind of bars, well, yeah, I always go to the piano bar because I'm also singing there, so I perform there once in a while. So that's a fun place to be at. But that's pretty much it.
When you sing, what's your like favorite song to sing, or what do you have like a go-to song?
I have one to go to, and that's Johnny Be Good.
Oh, you did that at Harold's. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what really my to go to song. But we have a request show, so people can just we have some papers. You can write down which artist, what you want to hear. A lot of music is Dutch music, so everybody, we have like the bar music is Dutch music, and they request that a lot of times. But you can just request anything you'd like, and I sing everything from Ed Sheeran to Adele to Queen, Billy Joel.
I wonder I think I still have what is who's like the most famous Dutch singer?
The most famous Dutch singer is André Hazes. He is one of the most famous Dutch singers.
Not
And
Andre. How do you
André
spell it?
Hazes,
Andre Azes.
Andre, and then space Hazes.
Oh, I was spelling that wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know this person.
And his son, he's André Hazes Junior. He is now also a famous artist, but André Hazes was born in Amsterdam. He is like, yeah, we call that a folk singer. So he's like the Elvis of the Netherlands, let's say.
Oh, I feel bad that I've never heard. Well, maybe I've heard him and I just don't know. But
No, you never heard of. He's only singing Dutch songs. The most famous export music we have are all the major DJs: Chesto, Armin van Buuren, Martin Garrix, Hardwell. Those are all Dutch guys.
okay, I know all those names.
Yeah.
What about like actors or like just celebrities in general? Who's the most famous person?
The witch from Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Carice
fun.
van Houten. And also Michiel Huisman. He is playing also a role in Game of Thrones. He's also a famous actor. And Famke Janssen. Famke Janssen is also really famous from the X-Men.
Yeah. What was her role? What was that character? She was the blue. Like, didn't she turn blue?
Yeah. Famke Janssen. Yeah, could be. Yeah, could be. X-Men.
She's from Amstelveen.
No, she's Storm. Amstelveen, I think. Yeah.
Wait,
hey,
no,
you also told. Oh, sorry.
I thought Halle Berry was Storm.
Oh, could be.
Where is Amstelveen? How close is that?
Close to Amsterdam. Close to Amsterdam.
Okay, can you explain this as a dumb American? Holland. What is Holland compared to?
Holland is two provinces of the 12 we have in the Netherlands. So the Netherlands consists of 12 provinces. So let's say like the 50 states. But then the provinces, they do have their own government, but the Dutch government is also the government of the provinces. And then you have North Holland and South Holland. Those are two provinces in the west coast of the Netherlands. But then we still have 10 other provinces. I live in the province Gelderland. So if you talk about Holland, that's only where Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Den Haag is. And the official name of Holland is the Netherlands, because that's the entire nation.
Got it. Okay. Now, do you own any wooden shoes?
I do not. My fiance does. And her grandfather was a wooden shoe maker.
That's incredible.
That was
Okay.
his profession. So he made in a village next door. He was making the wooden shoes for all the farmers of the village.
What's the purpose of a wooden shoe? It doesn't seem very comfortable.
They're really comfortable and they're like safety shoes. So instead of safety shoes in the past, you didn't have the steel how do you call that, top of your shoe? Steel nose, steel toe, yeah. So then you have wooden shoes. They were quite safe. And apparently they walked really nicely. Also, Tina, my fiance, she grew up wearing then the leather version also, but she also has some wooden shoes that she walked on. And also her brothers and her father walked on that. Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't realize that they were actually like a functional. I guess it makes sense that it would be a functional thing, but how many windmills are near you? I'm thinking about the Dutch things that I know.
Oh, yeah, nice. All the stereotyped Dutch
Yeah.
things coming. How many official windmills I know close by? Here in the city, we have one, I know, like an old-fashioned one. And also in the village I grew up, there was one or two. But the most windmills are in the province Flevoland, because Flevoland is a province that was really totally reclaimed from the sea. There was land that wasn't in existence, and that's where also all the tulips now are grown. But all the windmills are on the border of that province, because those windmills were used as pumps to pump out all the ocean water, all the seawater, and then they built dikes to lay the land dry. And that's where they used those mills for. The mills we had in our village, they were used for milling the grain.
Hmm. The ones with the dikes, isn't there like a famous nursery rhyme?
He puts the finger in the dike. Yeah, finger in the dike, and then saved a bunch of people.
I don't know if we can say finger in a dike.
Well, that's true. That's the fun thing about the Netherlands. You can say anything, even in global. Like you beep everything away. Everybody knows what the beep is. But here in the Netherlands, also on the Dutch national television, you can swear, you can do anything you'd like. It doesn't matter because everybody knows. If you hear beep on the American television, you know it's fuck. It doesn't matter, guys. We know it.
That's fun.
But that's also, the Americans are so prude and they don't want to discuss anything. It's the global market of porn and the global of OnlyFans. But oh my God, we have tits on the television. That's not allowed. Oh my God, there's a naked scene.
Yeah, I was going to bring up, I was not going to bring up, but now we're talking about things like that. But one of the most ridiculous Dutch things I know of is Black Pete.
Oh yeah, Black Pete, yeah. Well, for me, I grew up with Black Pete, so for me it was like normal, because we have Sinterklaas, and that is like that's where also Santa comes from you guys. But it originated in Turkey. In Turkey, you had a priest, a Catholic priest, and he was the first Sinterklaas. And that went to the Netherlands, and then later on, I think in 1880 or 1890, Black Pete came in as one of the helpers. But also, if the children didn't listen, you have to go into the bag and back to Spain, because Sinterklaas is coming from Spain with his steaming boat. Then you had Zwarte Piet. Oh yeah, Zwarte Piet is Dutch. We have Black Pete that was then there. But in my time, Black Pete became a really nice guy that was doing stunts and doing things like that. And they said, well, he's black because he has to go to the chimney to deliver the packages, and that's why he's black. But indeed,
is Santa? Is it Santa? Do you guys call it Santa now, or do you still call it? What do you wait?
No, it's two different things. Your Santa, we also celebrate Santa. Well, don't celebrate it really, but then it's more with the birth of Christ, of course. But Sinterklaas is on the 5th and the 6th of December. And Santa, we have two. We have Christmas Eve, first Christmas Day, and second Christmas Day. And then we have Santa, but we don't really. Santa is gaining popularity over Sinterklaas. And also now Black Pete is no longer in the Netherlands. It's banned. Or not banned, but the cultural thing is gone away. And now we have, how do you translate this? Oh my God. Roetveegpiet. So it's
charcoal?
Yeah, it's like they only have. It's a white guy with some marks of coal over his face. Yeah, if you would Google it, also the current Black Pete, it's like a white guy with some black marks on his face.
What are other like Dutch holidays that you celebrate that we don't celebrate here?
Eastern? Do you celebrate that? We have well, let's make a difference. We have official free days, official holiday days that are everybody's paid for by the companies. I can look them up for you. Dutch, Nederlandse feest dagen. How is your Dutch? Because you also told me that you were learning some Dutch, or you haven't?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
I think I did switch my Duolingo to Dutch, but I didn't follow through. Sorry.
Okay, no problem, no
How do
problem.
I say yeah,
I
teach me how do I say hello in Dutch?
Hallo,
Hallo.
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 It's really easy.
Oh, alright, so I can say that.
You can say
How do you
hello,
say goodbye?
tot ziens.
Tot ziens.
Tot ziens. It's see you later.
Tot ziens.
Tot ziens.
Ooh, what
I have the holidays here. You had a
oh, yeah, tell me,
Scotty,
let's talk about holidays,
you had
sorry.
a question to me of the national holidays we have in the Netherlands. So we have New Year's Day, that's an official free day, so the 1st of January. Then we have Good Friday, that's on the 3rd of April, that's also a free day. And then we have, with Eastern, we have 2 official. Every celebration, Christ, like with the religious thing, we always have like 2. We have first Eastern Day and second Eastern Day. So that's also free. Then the most amazing party in the Netherlands, King's Day.
What is that?
Well, what do you think? King's Day. It's not
King
celebrating Trump, it's something else. King's Day.
Oh, so it's like the king of the Netherlands.
Exactly, yeah. So it's the birthday of the king. That's on the 27th of April. And that's King's Day. And then all the cities in the Netherlands have festivities. Yeah, festivities throughout the entire city. So like in my city, it's celebrated quite big. Then we have over 25 different podias throughout the city. And then the entire city is partying and celebrating King's Day. Do you know why orange is our national color?
'Cause tulips look best when they're
Nope.
orange? No.
Nope. Willem, the first king of the Netherlands, was Willem van Oranje. Oranje means orange in Dutch. So that's why orange is the national color now. And that's why you eat orange carrots. An official carrot was white, but because of one of the birthdays of Willem van Oranje, they made an orange version, and that's why all the carrots now are orange, because the Netherlands is the biggest exporter of seeds already from 1850s, and that's why everybody in the world is eating orange carrots now because of our king.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah. So that's King's Day. Then we have also a major big thing, and that's also something, well, that's not that prominent in your culture, is Liberation Day. And that's when we were liberated from the Germans on the 5th of May, 1945. Then the Germans signed the surrender in a cafe in a city next door where I'm working in Wageningen, and they signed that in what's the name again? The Nieuwe Wereld, the New World Cafe, the New World. That's where they signed that they surrendered to the Allied forces. So that's a big festivity on the 5th of May. But it's also a really nice thing what we also do. Of course, that's not possible on the 4th of July because it's too long ago. But still, Canadian, American soldiers at that time that are still alive, they are flown over here and they are celebrated. So they get a military parade going next. They are sitting there, and then a military parade comes by. Everybody's waving. Everybody is still celebrating the soldiers of that time, because else we were speaking German now. That's also a huge difference with the Netherlands. The status of military in the US is like, it's way high. You can enter an airplane faster. Everybody is saluting you almost. Yeah, here in the Netherlands, it's not. You're just a soldier, let's say. But it's also, well, and also, of course, the US has been involved in way more wars than we have. We have, of course, because of NATO, then we went to Iraq, Afghanistan, everywhere the US was, but we never started a war. Yeah, in Indonesia, after the Second World War, we did that. That was in the 1950s, 60s. But after that, yeah.
What do your military uniforms look like? Do they look cool? Dutch Army. Oh, it just looks kind of the same. Okay.
Yeah. Our police force, that looks completely different. If you do police Netherlands uniform, that's completely different.
Oops.
It's black with a fluorescent yellow stripings.
Netherlands police. Oh, for some reason I feel like I kind of like that. I feel like it looks less alarming.
Yeah, but it's also I would also be alarmed if I have a police officer from the US. With us, you have. I don't want to get too political, but with us, you have to have a decent training before you can be a police officer. And nowadays, it's only 6 weeks, I heard, in the US.
It's been weird here lately because in Fargo, we're so close to Minneapolis where all like that stuff's happening. And it feels weird because we're so close that it feels very close, but we're also just far enough away that it doesn't feel local in the same sense. But yeah, we don't have to talk about that. What a crazy time to be an American. What's your favorite American like food or thing? Like,
Sorry, what I think is really American?
yeah, what's like
Well,
Coca Cola? Like, what feels
yeah, well,
American?
what feels American nowadays, I have to be honest, when I am in the US, well, when I'm traveling to the US, what I'm trying to avoid is American food. If I'm longer there for like 2 weeks, I first go to all the Thai place, Chinese, Japanese, but then you have a lunch. I mean, I have to eat out all the time, of course, because I'm traveling. So then I'm going into the bar and I order a chicken sandwich. I don't know what's in the food of the US, but after 3 or 4 days, I'm craving grease and I'm craving sugars. And that's also, I told my girlfriend, I said, every time I go there, it's unbelievable. You hardly want to eat something else, but it's also because all the vegetables are so horrible in restaurants. I once ordered broccoli. Well, it was like 20 years old and it was cooked like shit. And then I think, oh my God. So, but if you then see, do I have, I'm thinking now aloud, do I love some things? I do like, I was in Ithaca, New York, and there I ordered a New York loin. That was really good. That's something I really like. Um, and other American food? Not really. No. Ooh, Reese. No, is that Reese? Oh, we also have it here, of course, but always when I'm in the US, I bring a carton of Reese from. I always go to the Walmart because it's like an adventure for me. It's like a park, like a Walmart. Oh my God! But then I always bring a bag of Reese also for my girlfriend, and then okay, yeah, that's cool.
I'm glad you said that because I think that and I think M&Ms are pretty perfect candies. The rest of American chocolate is not that great, but a peanut M&M or
Well, I heard about Mr. Beast Feastables.
I don't even get me started on Mr. Beast. All right, we're almost at time, so I'm gonna do my last question is gonna be is your what is your goal for this next year? Currently, it's February. What are your goals for this year? Where do you see yourself in the next year?
Um, well, this year I have a quiet year because last year was really busy and I went to do a burnout. So this year, our goal is, or my goal is, to have a little bit more stability and just to, just to be not as busy as I've been the last couple of years because I was in my peak. I was in 1 year, I was abroad 14 weeks. That was way too much. And last year it was like 5 weeks, and this year it will be 6, 7 weeks. I will be abroad. Just I want to have consistency, and just it sounds really like I'm getting old, but just a little bit more quiet life at the moment. Just stable, and and do some more things beyond work. So also perform a little bit more. Maybe join a musical group. I did a lot of musical in the past, so maybe do something like that. Um, Travel around a little bit extra just for holidays. This year we're going to Croatia for 2 weeks, to Dubrovnik, where Game of Thrones is recorded. Um, so that I'm building our company. I'm taking over the company my dad has started. That's really fun. So just be successful in that.
That sounds pretty busy. What and when's your wedding? When is that?
Currently, we have it planned on the 14th of April, 2028, because then we're together for 20 years.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It's a long time, yeah. So that's why we now planned it on the 14th of April. The 12th of April, we're together for 20 years, but it's the 14th is a Friday. So then we can celebrate on a Friday. So that's the plan. So we're now making already our guest list, and we're looking for the location where we're going to want to get married. But still looking for that.
All right, and then last question, what if you had to give me one piece of advice for myself for this year, what should it be? What should I be channeling for this year myself?
Well, my other goal for this year, and also hopefully that's also a nice goal for you, is to be more impulsive. When you grow up, you try to be less impulsive because it's sometimes distracting from the goals you have. It can be school or it can be work or something else. And I lost my impulsiveness a little bit. So for me, the goal this year is just to be a little bit more impulsive and just do something or buy something or go out or whatever. I think be impulsive. You don't have to grow up all the time. Just be sometimes crazy or just be fun, or people are looking at you and saying, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" I'm just enjoying myself.
I like that you approach your work travel as a I'm gonna be here, I may as well, like, experience it. I feel like that's kind of I would assume that's how you approach most of your life, so that feels very impulsive in, like, an intentional way, so I should embrace that more. Awesome, well, it's good to see you. I know it's Friday over there, so I hope you come to Fargo sometime soon, and then we'll have to get our own little, like, trip to the Netherlands together. That'd be fun to come out there and
You're always welcome in my house, so just travel, come here. I would recommend to come here. When is it again? When is it? Tina, when is the gay pride in Amsterdam? In Mei, toch? Oh, in August. You have to come here in August. Then you have the gay pride in Amsterdam. Tina is always going there. That is like awesome.
Cool, well, good to see you. Thanks for chatting. This was good.
Thanks. Talk to you on Insta.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, bye.